Elaine got her. Oh, Elaine got her. Elaine got her. Elaine got her. Woo!
Yep. They swept, right?
They swept 1, 2, 3.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the RxR Express podcast.
Choo choo.
All you track and field fiends, more like speed freaks.
At this point,
We just got finished watching the women's 100-meter final, and man, was it a race. Joining me, obviously, I'm Rick. Joining me, the other half of the RxR Express, my man Ronald Hussey.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
So, dude, let's talk about it, man. Like, was that a race or was that a race?
It was a race, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't a race to be like, oh my, it wasn't an upset. I can tell you that. It wasn't an upset because I think you could have picked either one to go 1-2. The sweep is what I think is what's big because it kind of tells you what the 4x1 is going to be like. So we did have Elaine Thompson winning in 10:61. What a great race.
10:61.
10:61, man. That was I mean, I expected a little faster, but I think 10:61 is
But I mean, like, she was just so like far and away the winner. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of knew that Shelly was going to get out. And it was at this point, Elaine, if Elaine stayed with her, Elaine's lift is different from anybody else's lift in that race. So,
but you know what? Like when you speak about Shelly Ann,
nothing to take away from Shelly, man.
She didn't look like she got out the blocks clean.
No, it didn't look like a Shelly start. It didn't look like a Shelly Ann start.
And so, like, prior to the race, in your 1, 2, 3, who did you have?
I did have Shelly winning it. I did have Elaine and Dina Ashton Smith, which didn't even make the finals. So I did have them 1, 2, and Dina Ashton Smith 3. I mean, it went the other way plus the sweep, which I kind of knew that was gonna happen after I seen who was in the finals. That it was gonna be easy sweep at that point.
In order for a Shelly Ann victory, what did she have to do in order to win?
I think she had to put a good distance between her and Elaine. When Elaine gets going and has that lift, Elaine, first of all, Elaine is not short. She is very tall.
And Shelly isn't.
Shelly isn't. So Shelly. And for that, a lot of short or small runners do have great starts. They're always great starters.
So Shelly had to have a good start.
She had to have a good start. Put a little distance. And when I say distance, I don't mean like meters, because that won't happen. But she needs to put a good maybe 2 or 3 steps on the lane in order for her to hold the lane off. But she didn't do that. Elaine stayed with her.
Last time we spoke, we were talking about being, having experience at the Olympics and how that matters, and just reminding yourself you've been here before, and just you sort of disrupt. I don't want to say like, okay, so that's a better term. You disrupt the competition.
Yeah. If
you have a good start, if you are Shelly Ann.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And Shelly Ann didn't have a good start.
No. And that was a good one, disrupt, because why I say that is if Shelly Ann would have gotten a better start, then you lead to other people to might panic and get out of their race. So start does matter. Start does matter in the sprints because it can be a distraction or what you say, a disruption in race plans.
Right.
You know, even if you see like if you're on the line next to somebody and a gun go off
and you see them, they're like, oh shit, I got it. I
you
like right? Like, oh man, it's like this is the fastest guy in the world. I mean, not running against you sometimes.
yeah.
It was like, like I knew I had to get a good start. And sometimes you wouldn't get a good start. And I'm like, I could win. Like, and then you dust my ass.
Well. I think so for me, I've been running since I was 9. So I understood my competition. I understood my competition.
What the hell is that supposed to mean, mother? Okay, all right.
It didn't for me. Right, wait, for me, right? So
okay.
For me, I'm not saying that you guys sucked or anything like that, right? But for me, as a track and field veteran, right?
At the age of 9 years old, yes.
I know, right? So we're talking about for age of, all right. Started at 9. So we're talking about what, 15, maybe 15, right?
So by the time you got to Mount, it was
By the time I got to Mount, I was
5 years, 5, 6 years. 5 years, right?
Yeah, maybe 5, 6, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. So for me, right, when I got there, it took me a while to really, and we can talk about this even down the road, because Catholic high school don't even get the proper handshake that we should. But it took me a while to understand how weak Catholic high school was, right? And then you do have the Carlos Bedoyas, you do have the Sean Wrights, you do have those that come out of Catholic high school. But when you
big boys of public school
of a Kadar and Transit and Mike Brown and all those people. So for us it's a little different. So for me, I ran to my competition, so I knew exactly what I can do to win, and it didn't take much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying you guys sucked. It didn't take me much.
It was more. It was a little bit more vanilla.
Very much.
Right? I'll tell you what. I mean, like a good analogy for me is actually playing junior high school baseball at Mount, and Catholic high school, junior high school baseball, and playing Pony League in the South Bronx with a bunch of Dominicans.
Yep.
It is a completely different game. It's a completely different game. So I know what you're talking about, but that whole the whole idea of, especially in such a short period of time, of you need everything that you need in order to try to run your best race, and a little misstep
can happen, and it could throw
and it's
off.
like and it's over, right? It's over. It was an incredible race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I know a lot of people probably gonna be like, oh, it was all right because of the whole Sha'Carri thing. Sha'Carri, is her name Sha'Carri or Sha'Carri?
Sha'Carri, no, we'll talk about her in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, let's just talk about everybody else in the race. Mary Jose Talu is her name.
Talu, yeah, I think she was kind of disappointed. I saw her at the end of the race.
Man. I mean, hey, look, disappointed. Like you got a Jamaican sweep. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's rough. It's rough, and that's one of the other things that, like, if Shelly Yan got a good start, then maybe the top 3 would look different, because panic and stuff. But again,
she didn't even have the best start in the field. I'm looking at reaction time. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
The best reaction time was girl from Great Britain.
Like, it looked like she dragged her foot or something like that. It looked off.
It looked off. It looked really off.
What's the biggest disappointment that you feel occurred in the whole thing of the women's 100?
Well, we only had one American. That's a big disappointment. I mean, I'm disappointed with Dina Asher Smith not being there, so I thought she could be a good contender. But everything else, I mean, I kind of feel like that was fine. Like the two Swiss going back to back. I think we kind of talked about that. Toulouse did her thing. She came in fourth. She ran 10:91. I mean, the American held it down. She took eighth, 11 flat. So I mean, I think what really stands out is Jamaican sweep. The Jamaican sweep, and all of them went under 10:8. That is
No, that's, oh my God.
that's moving. So for me, you take that away, and you can only imagine what the 4x1 might look like.
That's going to be insane.
And at this point, Jamaica might. I'm gonna say it. Jamaica's gonna win.
Yeah.
At this point,
barring stick drops.
yeah. I mean, and we haven't seen Jamaica drop sticks in a very long time. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It was a great race. I mean, you can either go. You can either go. Like I said, you could have either went with Thompson or Frazier winning.
Yeah.
But Thompson did win with the Jamaican sweep.
So you think this is Shelly Ann's last, or?
I think this is her last. Yeah, I think she's her last. What is she? She's
30. She's 35.
34. Going to be 35 in December. So.
And then what? Like so. Here's the question: they're going to get back on track with the? So I know that the Olympics were delayed because of COVID last year. They're gonna. It's going to be.
I think it stays 2024. Yeah, it doesn't move.
So hey, man.
So you might see her. What's that?
2024. She'll be
3 years. She'll be 30.
Yeah, 3 years.
39.
38.
Yeah, I mean, you.
Hey, man, if you still got gas in the tank, man.
Yeah, keep going.
By all means. By all means.
I mean, you got also Elaine is only 29.
So oh yeah. I mean,
you'll definitely see her.
And you know, like they got a factory down there, so like they ain't going nowhere.
Sharika is 27, and then the other Jamaican I think they have that took fourth, the young girl that Otto Bolden trained. I think she's 20, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, but we talked about it last time. The rest of the world starting to catch up.
Yeah, they're really starting to catch up, man.
Shout out to Switzerland with 2 women in the final.
Oh, they're young too, 29 and 25.
Bro, I mean, look, let's say you and I feel like Jamaica is gonna go ahead and probably do some damage to the record in the 4x1, but the team to watch
is the
Swiss, man. It's gonna be interesting. And
I mean, you also can't count out other countries. Brazil will have something in there. Great Britain you can't count out.
They always show up strong. You know.
Yeah.
Do we got a Canadian team in there? Because they got
a Canadian team in there.
They're always the finger in USA's eye in the 4x1. Always.
US will be there definitely. We already know that.
But you know, we usually have the last several years we usually have a hard time dealing with
the sticks
transition.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So yeah, I mean, at this point, looking at it, after looking at this race at 100, 4x1, I think Jamaica has it. It's just how far can they throw the world record down the
right. Everything clean, everything whatever. Yeah, it's just whether or not they break the world record, which is going to be fun to watch. And the other thing is you know, usually when you have like world record breaking, you have a world record breaking race, there's going to be a lot of PRs, country records. There's going to be a lot of fast teams that get pulled through on that. So, and talking about like, you know, being pulled through and just being the recipient of a fast race, you know, the psychology of that. Elaine, you know, breaks the Olympic record, right? And you can see that, like in that race, that you could see like everybody is being pulled through. You know, when you're a part of something, it's like when everybody's putting their like best effort forward,
Mm-hmm.
and like as a runner, it makes you feel good, right? Like so, like
Yeah.
the psychology of it, right? It's we talked about it. We talked a little bit about it last episode, but being able to, you know, like stay in the moment
Yeah.
and run your race. Have you ever been in a situation where you got out of your head mid race?
I probably have. I think everybody has.
But I mean, how did?
Yo,
But
yo, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Now that I think of, yes, I've had a race. Um, very important race actually. It was Olympic trials to get on the Puerto Rican team. You know, you go, yeah, you know, everybody goes through their routine at the line. You know, deep breaths or whatever you do, say your prayers, whatever the heck you do. For me that day, it was man, I think it hurt badly because I really wanted to make that team. Like I really wanted. It was like I really needed to make this team, and I did a lot to try to make that team. And got on the line, got on the blocks, and the gun went off. And I mean, I've never had a greater start ever in my life where I can see from the corner of my eyes that nobody was there. And then when I got to like maybe 60, I couldn't lift or shift. Like it was just that. It was that. And then the field came back and it was like a oh no. Like it was like a oh no moment, like wait for me, like take me along with you, like no,
like,
that type of thing.
you try to grab it's like come
And now
on.
you're just surviving. Like you're just like
Yeah.
arms are like everywhere. You're leaning back because you're trying to like stay up with the two people that just went in front of you, and you're like just stay in third. And you get those moments where you're like, now dag, what just happened, like what's happening right now. So yeah, I had those moments
But do you
where
feel like was it something that like mid race you got into your head mid race, or was it something else?
I think also like you can't panic. Like don't as much as
Yeah.
how short the 100 is. The 100 is very long if you do what you got to do and not panic. So for me, when I saw that person, because I was so far ahead, that when I saw that person, I was like, "Oh crap, what's going on? All right, no, this can't happen. I got to do something." Instead of me calming myself down and going through my emotions, continue with my form and things like that, I panicked, and now I'm running somebody else's race.
Right.
So being that I'm running somebody else's race, that's not my strategy. I'm panicking. I don't know what's going on. I lost it. Like I lost. I think I came in fourth in that race.
Do you think it's hard to not run somebody else's race, especially when you know if that person's like
It's
faster
very
than you?
it's very easy to run somebody else's race.
Yeah.
Like even I think first of all, mental starts before you even hit the line. And I say that is because when say when you raced against me, Rick, what was the first thing you're thinking?
I'm not going to win.
You already have
Yeah.
somebody else's race plan. So that's where it begins. It begins there of I got to be confident in myself, even though I know I'm not going to win, but I have to do my best. And when you start thinking those things. I know I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win. Those are mental barriers because you never knew. I could have fell.
Yeah. Hey, look,
I could have false started. I could have did a lot of things before that.
I remember the race senior year, well, the 300
The
indoor.
300. Mm-hmm.
And I was the first seed. I was the number one, and I got the 6th lane.
Yep.
I was so you jobbed me out again, you MFers, right? And I'm out, and again, I got around the back turn, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna win, and here you come.
And I said, let's go, Rick.
And then I came in third. I was pissed.
Came in third. But you know what? We needed that because they didn't have you on that list to score. So that was big, man.
Sha'Carri Richardson. The elephant in the room. It we can't just have an amazing 100-meter women's
without
final,
talking about her. Something that we have to talk about.
What's your thoughts?
Man, I'm only going to speak from my opinion and from my experience. Like I said, I think this Sha'Carri thing hit home for me. It was a little too close for me. And why I say that is because all right, let's talk about marijuana itself in track and field, right? Because I think when we talk about marijuana, we're talking about athletes in the paddock smoking blunts like that. I think that's kind of what we think, like we're thinking about that because I've heard like Emmanuel Ocho talk about it on First Take, not First Take, whatever they have with them, him and Wiley.
Acho.
Yeah. So I've heard them and had their take, and it's like, and I don't like those takes because they're not track athletes, right? Right. They don't. Yes, football. You're a football athlete. That's fine. You go through what you go through. There's people that said that he said that people high, whatever, right? But when it comes to track and field, there are not many people who are running high, right? I need to say that, right? Nobody is rolling up a fat grandma blunt in the back, getting high and coming out and run. Like that's not what they're doing. I need people to understand that, right? When we talk about CBD, THC, marijuana, when we talk about those things are normally used for recovery, right? We use it for recovery, right? We talk about CBD oils when you go get massaged, right? We talk about the THC and like gummies and things like that, right? They use those things for recovery, right? Is it just used just for recovery? No, it's not used just for recovery because now let's talk about Sha'Carri, right? Sha'Carri had her mother died and she found out through a journalist before an interview. So now you're adding to her mental of right now she's the favorite, she's the best, she's what she's talked about. She has to back up for what she was also talked about. Everybody's looking at her. She has the world on her shoulders. And now, right now, you're telling me that my mother, that I really didn't have a relationship with, right, died. And in your head is you didn't get closure. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about you didn't get closure for a relationship, right? So now you add to that. You add to that. So yes, she did. She didn't go smoke a fat blunt before she ran. She made a mistake. But mentally, you need something in order for you to separate yourself. In order for you to calm down. In order for you to grieve. So for us, it's not used as that. It's not used as a performance enhancer because that's what they're calling it. It's not used as a performance enhancer because we're in a sport that we're always trying to enhance our performance, no matter what it is, whether it be workouts, whether it be bands, whether it be sleds, whether it be spikes, right? Right. So we're always trying to enhance ourselves, right? No matter what it is. but marijuana and all that, it's not used for what everybody thinks it's used for. Like I never smoked, and I mean I know somebody that smoked that went to go run, and I can tell you it wasn't a good thing. But those things, along with track, it goes nerves go along with it. And THC and marijuana and all that stuff does help us. Does help us. It does help us with our mental and our recovery. So that's one thing I want to kind of say, because I think we got the stigmatism of, and I think marijuana has a stigmatism altogether.
Yeah, it does.
It has altogether. And this is why I'm glad that it's kind of legal, and is laws are now being turned over and things like that,
Yeah.
and we do decriminalizing and things
Yeah.
like that. So like it has its benefits. I'm not gonna. It really does when it comes to mental. And I think we also take athletes for granted. Like we're freaking human, We're human.
Yeah,
No matter
right.
as much as you guys see us on TV, like even Noah Lyles, if you read Noah Lyles' interviews and things, he always talks about his mental.
Mhm.
Marijuana is, for me, like I said, marijuana is a great tool. It's a great tool. It's a great tool if it's used the way it should be used. And like I said, it hits home for me because my 4x1 actually got disqualified for a person to fail drug test on marijuana. So for me, it hits home, and it's like we just got DQ'd because of marijuana, not PEDs or
Yeah, yeah. And
marijuana.
and they hide, and USADA's very, and I don't want to like.
Please,
Let
you
me
don't
go
want to.
ahead. Let me
You know
go
what?
ahead, because
We,
this thing is just like, they're like USADA, and they're like whatever, they're very good at hiding
it's
PEDs.
and it's very tricky because you have
Yeah,
data, you have water, you have
yeah,
you have all these things that you just could be confused on.
you know,
It's just, and if you're not a follower of track and field, you can be very confused about it. You'd be like, oh my goodness, you shot it, water, why
yeah,
so many?
yeah. But the other thing is, like, if you're gonna have like, this is my thing. I mean, like, if you're gonna have a piss test, don't do it.
And that's what we come down to, right? So you
Right,
knew it, right? So you knew it. I don't know, Rick. I can't tell you what's in her head, right?
right. But the rules is rules, right? And that, like,
But I mean,
that's where I get off the bus, right? It's
rules.
like,
Yeah, I get it. Rules are rules, right? But rules are also are guidelines for.
maybe next year it's off the list,
Oh, it's gonna.
maybe.
It's gone. It's
And
gone.
then, or you're allowed to have, you
So
know
even I had this idea of right. I was talking to somebody about it, and it was like, yeah, that's a really cool idea. Of getting every sport should have a main distillery.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
you go get your stuff from, right? Where it is NBA approved,
Mm-hmm.
FIBA approved,
Mm-hmm.
or NFL approved, or
Mm-hmm.
USATF approved. Where that is the USATF store where you get
Mm-hmm.
your whatever you need, right? So then that way, USATF,
Everybody's on the same thing.
everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I got this great strain
Yeah.
from West. So like
You
I just
know,
think
the
something needs to happen.
here's the other thing. You don't show up to work drunk, right?
Yeah.
You don't show up to the track drunk. You don't show up to the locker room. I mean, hey, look, the days of Mickey Mantle going on a bender,
Gone.
right,
Babe,
puking, and then
babe
having a day
coming with
game,
a
and then
bottle of Henny.
going 4 for 5 the next day at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Those days are over,
Yeah.
and look, rules are rules.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, and she owned up to it.
She owned
And
up to
again,
it. Yeah, yeah.
I
She
mean,
owned.
and it also goes, like, everybody else that's, like, outside of the spectrum talking about, oh, let her, like, this other shit. It's like, be quiet. She accepted it. Be
Yeah,
quiet. Move on.
yeah. And I think that's what everybody in track and field is like. Yeah, she did it. She said she's sorry. All right, let's move on. We're not gonna have her.
And then the other thing is, and I hope and being held off of the 4x1, I hope it's only just marijuana.
No, I believe it is. I believe it's just marijuana. And I think when you understand exactly how the rules went, you understand it why she's not also not on the 4x1, right? And I think and like I said,
I just hope.
no, it is.
Because you know how you again, you know how USADA is. You know how
yeah. I mean,
is, they bend the rules, they let you whatever, and it's like, look, you can have a lifetime ban, or you can just sit this one out.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the crime or the penalty doesn't fit the punishment, right? And that's all the time, right? And I think it all depends also on who you are, where you ranked, and is this your first, second, or third time, right?
Right.
Because we can even talk about the hurdle of Brianna Rollins, right? She that's another crazy story, right? Because we have all these bunch of stories of now even Blessing Ogabari that was supposed to be in the semifinals of Nigeria.
So, that's right. She wasn't in there.
She wasn't in there. But so now and I was even telling my wife last night. Now I see.
So wait, hold on. So talk about because I was trying to watch the semis and I didn't see her. And I really did want to talk because when we were talking about, she can funk it out every once in a while, right? And I was watching her race and I could see how she was working a little bit. And what happened with her?
So you can even see her. She looks like Elaine Thompson, like she's very tall, nice lift. So the day before, Nigeria came out with a statement about 10 athletes weren't going to run because they weren't tested enough. And they took, I think, about 20 athletes, and 10 weren't going to run because they wasn't tested enough. And I think yesterday morning or yesterday night, actually, before the 100 semis, it came out Blessing Ogabari tested positive for HGH. And I haven't heard HGH in a very, very, very long time.
Since fucking Roger Clemens, 2008.
We're talking about, oh my goodness, Tim Montgomery and the whole Balco scandal. Like,
Balco. So, Barry Bonds, bro.
So for me, when I heard the HGH, I was like, she wasn't even trying to hide it. Like you weren't even trying to hide what was going on. And then so
I tell you what, like watching her like her prelim heat, or not the pre, but like her heat, she was trucking. She looked like she was working very hard.
And like I said, she is sometimes it could be like, hey, like I said, she ran 10:63, I want to say, this year, in the African championships. And she has it. I've seen her have it. I've seen her beat the top contender. I've seen her beat Shelly Ann. I've seen her beat Elaine. I've seen her beat these people. But it's just like, who you're gonna get today? Which Blessing are you gonna get today? But she tested positive for HGH and she was out. Like it was very shocking when I saw it. It was very shocking. But yeah, man, that was shocking because it was just HGH. Which for me was like, you weren't
mad
even
old school.
You were. I was like that's like
they got synthetic shit going on.
And you going to take it back to HGH?
Taking it back to the classics.
You weren't
might as well take steroids.
That's what I was about to say. You might as well. Why you ain't call Ben Johnson and hook you up with
no shit, right? You know what, man? Ben Johnson deserves a lot of respect.
He does.
In that race, everybody was on it.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody was on it. Carl Lewis too. Don't at me. All right, listen. So we've got a lot of good stuff moving forward. We've got the long jump. So who you got in the long jump? What's going on with that?
So I mean, we do have the vet and Brittany Reese. I don't think anybody beating her. But then we do have the new up and comers and Tara Davis from the University of Texas. Which she also has a great story. She's actually boyfriend with a Paralympic athlete that's running a Paralympics. Jasmine Sawyers from Great Britain. You'll see Brittany Reese. I mean, you do have to look out for the Caribbean countries, man. Trinidad and Tobago. You can't count them out. You can't forget about Jamaica. You'll get them in there. I like this. They also have world rank at the same time.
Anything to say about shot put and hammer?
Shot put. I just want to see Raven Saunders get on the podium so she can put her fist in the air. I want to see what IOC is going to do. That's what I really want to see. Yeah. So I'm there. That's where I'm at. That's what I want to see. I really don't.
Hammer throw.
But Gwen Berry for hammer throw, yo.
She did qualify.
She did qualify.
She came in third place.
She came in third place, and that's another one I want to see. Hope she gets on the podium because I want to see some shake up in
see
this
what happens.
bro.
Yeah, see what happens. But there's nobody in the stands, so they're probably gonna cut away whatever.
Either that, or they probably won't show it on TV.
Yeah, exactly. They'll cut away. They'll just and she won. 400 individual.
Listen, this 400 it is very, 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 very deep. Very deep. Very deep. Like for me, it's the toss-up of who's gonna win.
So, man, there's so much to pay attention to. We've got so much stuff to look forward to, and we'll keep at it. We'll see everybody later, and go Jasmine.
Viva Puerto Rico.
Que bonita bandera, que bonita bandera. Even though that's a couple of days from now. By the time
I just want Big Pun to be played. At the same time, I want Bacardi Gold. I want some Bacardi Gold.
Oh my goodness.
Bacardi Gold. I want
bro, I want
a Acapuria at the same time.
I have my great grandfather's cuatro up. Like, yo, I'm gonna bring. I'm not gonna bring it down now. But bro, she wins. I'm bringing that MFer down. Yo, my grandmother stole that map.
I was just looking at that a while ago with the young Ricardo underneath it though.
Yeah.
With the young Ricardo that they made you shave and you broke out 2 days after that. Why did they do that to us, yo? And
then you leave and you end up looking like this.
You shave it, and by the time you get to the door, you're back to the.
No, like, oh man, you know what? Look, I understand uniformity. Just keep yourself neat. But like being forced to do it.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know who I was with. I'm trying to think. Was it Eric Cass I was with? I was with somebody that we were taking our senior pictures and they shaved, but it wasn't what they wanted. And
they gave you a big
nasty navy blue hard
and then go to the bathroom and
he had to go to the bathroom and shave, and it was like what the like, you couldn't even give me a nicer one. You gave me like a 99-cent that you bought from.
And that was like almost at the time when Gillette just came out with the 3 blades.
It was terrible, man. I remember doing it too. I remember getting shaved, and I didn't have a lot of hair, but I had mustache. And I remember shaving it, and I remember like 2 days later having like the bumps on top of my lip.
Oh, and then you have to sit in school. You have to sit with the tie on. And it's like, everything about this sucks.
You itching, like you're itching on the top of your lip, and people asking, so you sure you shaved?
Right?
You sure you shaved? Yeah.
Are you questioning me? God damn it! Oh, anyways.
Yeah, anyways,
With that
so-
said, we have a lot to go through.
Very much.
Going on. Awesome day of track and field, and yeah, man. We'll see you on the next one.
Next one.
Ronald, any closing thoughts?
Nah.
All right, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
Later, guys.